Tonight we close out a wild season of Friday night fights from the Turning Stone Casino in upstate New York with 2 world title fights. A proper finish to a season of elimination bouts and belts changing hands.
Usmanee is starting to dominate the fight.
Punch after punch after punch, just digging in.
Rances.
Whoa. Right hand, and it got to Holt, and Peterson scores the knockdown. Headshot after headshot. Oh, he's got Holt in trouble, and that's it. It's over as Lamont Peterson retains his title. Radovich comes back and splits the guard. Oh, there's a sharp left hand.
In our main event, Usmanee gets the chance he wants and thought he deserved in January. A shot at Mendez's IBF Junior Lightweight belt. It's Friday Night Fights. Welcome you to the season finale of Friday Night Fights, and it's brought to you by Corona Extra. And what a fantastic night of fights we have in store for you, including 2 title bouts, thanks to this man. Mike Tyson is in the house tonight for his promotional debut. Tonight's fight card is presented by Iron Mike Promotions, and the main event should be a doozy. Mendez takes on Usmanee for the IBF Junior Lightweight Championship of the world. Welcome into the Turning Stone Casino. My name is Todd Grisham. As I mentioned, this is the season finale. If you've been with us all year long, we thank you. If this happens to be the first time you're checking out Friday Night Fights, you picked a great night to tune in. Not 1, but 2 title fights. Now, in our main event, the Junior Lightweight Championship is on the line, and as you know, the world of boxing, there's multiple champions, right? Here's the current crop. There are 4, but the one we're most interested in is the one on your left, the IBF champion, Mendez, who makes his first ever title defense. Now, his opponent, Usmanee, last time we saw him was in our season debut as he had a very controversial decision loss to Rances Barthelemy, but everything worked out in the end, didn't it? Because he closes our season with his first ever world title fight. Also, later tonight, right here, live and in person on the set, I'll be interviewing Iron Mike Tyson. He'll talk about his promotional debut, the current state of the heavyweight division, and I'll ask him what would happen if he faced Vladimir Klitschko in his prime. Plus, a look back at the very best of Friday Night Fights. It's the 2013 year in review. I know you'll like it. But right now, it's our opening bout, and it happens to be for a title. How about that? Let's hit it ringside. Teddy Atlas and Joe Tessitore.
Thank you very much, Todd. We'll get right to fight action. It's well-rounded. Good opportunity for each man to stamp themselves of bigger things to come. Featherweight. Argentina's Jesus Cuellar facing off against undefeated prospect from the DR and Claudio Marrero. Before we do that, and Todd just mentioned that Mike Tyson is the promoter tonight. Moments ago, literally 1 minute before we went on air, Mike Tyson walked over to my broadcast partner, Teddy Atlas, and embraced the man that taught him how to fight. That all the way back in the early 80s in Catskill, New York, took him out of a juvenile detention home, and a well-documented split up many, many years ago. And Teddy, you and I have been friends for a long, long time. We've talked about your relationship with Mike Tyson. We're going to have much more on this coming up, but I'm still catching my breath just because what I know of the personal circumstances, and I think anybody who follows boxing understands why you and Mike haven't spoken since the 1980s. I'm still catching my breath that he came over and embraced you. I've been in the same room with the 2 of you many times in the past. That has never happened.
No, I mean, listen, he behaved like a man. What can I say? He came over, extended his hand, and asked me if I would shake it. He said, "You're not still mad at me, are you? I wish you wouldn't be." And
so that's Tyson's form of asking for forgiveness and to try to mend the relationship. We'll talk about that a little more in the evening.
I give him credit for showing a gentleman's side and coming over and saying what he said. It was something that any man would say yes and take the handshake from that person.
So that's how we start our night, with Mike Tyson as the promoter, as we get ready for this 12-round WBA interim title fight at 126 pounds. Chris John, one of the longest reigning active title holders in all of boxing. As we look at Jesus Cuellar, 27-year-old, a record of 22-1, 18 knockouts from Argentina. You see most of his work done back at home for Cuellar, ranked number 4 in the WBA. This is his first fight stateside. Marrero is 2 inches taller, also checked in at 126 pounds, fights out of Miami, 14-0, 11 knockouts. And you can see the success he had back in the DR as an amateur, a champion at 125 pounds, and a lofty ranking as well in the BA. Time to see what the fighters must do to look like a champ, brought to you by Just for Men. Teddy?
Let's start with the unbeaten Marrero. You're faster, you're slicker. Make them miss, make them pay. And for Cuellar, get close, dig to the body.
Scheduled for 12.
Get your instructions in the wrestling room. Expect you to box clean, obey my commands. Touch gloves now, go back to your corner, we'll get going.
Dick Podkosdy, the referee. Seen him a few times before in some of the fight cards we've had in upstate New York. Round number 1 underway between Marrero and Cuellar. Marrero coming in, touching him with a jab to the belt line. See Marrero with that wide base and stance, showing off a bit of hand speed there and some defensive prowess as well, able to step back, get out of the way and use those legs.
Half of Marrero's fights have been in the Dominican Republic, half have been in Florida. Most of the fights for Cuellar in Argentina. This is his first fight in the U.S. I don't know if this is a scary sign or an omen, but Cuellar won a majority decision. That means he was close, versus a 27, 32, and 7 fighter only 4 fights ago. Maybe that means something. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we're going to find out. Only loss for Cuellar was by knockout. But that loss, I'm not making any excuse for Cuellar. I think Marrero should win this fight, and maybe even dominate. But Cuellar, that loss was at his lowest weight of his career, 122, Joe. Most of his other fights were at featherweight, 126 pounds. So I'm just wondering if he was out of his weight class, if he was weak for that fight. We're going to find out, maybe. Marrero's a southpaw. They're both southpaws. Nobody's got the edge. They're looking in the mirror. Usually a southpaw has an edge when he's going in there with an orthodox fighter. No edge here. Marrero, maybe his edge is with his lead punch, the right hand. He's naturally a righty. His dominant hand is his lead hand.
Short right by Marrero. Cuellar comes charging in behind that jab. Cuellar and Marrero coming to the end of round number 1 on what should be a good way to finish up the season of Friday Night Fights, with the IBF Junior lightweight title bout still to come. And it all comes full circle for Arash Usmanee, the challenger who opened up Friday Night Fights back in January against Rances Bartholomew, and by all accounts was robbed in the fight. Now here he is at the end of the season getting an opportunity to fight for the belt against Argenis Mendez.
Yeah, he should be undefeated is what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. But I'm excited about this fight. And there's two things that come to me in my mind. There's one that it's a good matchup, good talent, and there's intrigue here. But the intrigue comes partly what I just said, the talent. As you see, one of the fighters right there, the world champion Mendez. But the other part of the intrigue for me and for the listeners out there, I think, is that Bill Krakenberger, who's one of the best-known handicappers in sports in the country, just informed me that Mendez is a 5-1 Vegas. Las Vegas has Mendez as a 5-1 favorite in Las Vegas. I think Vegas got it wrong.
Really?
Okay, all you people out there, we're going to find out. Is Teddy right or is Vegas right? I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking on too big a giant, but I think Vegas has it way wrong. I don't see that line 5-1. I see it as an even fight. So I'm really, really interested to see how it plays out. Is Vegas right? You know, they know something I don't know. I'm not a handicapper. I'm a boxing trainer. I think Usmanee's got a damn good chance to win this fight.
We'll see if he pulls off the upset in our main event for the world title coming up later tonight. Good start to round number 2 here between Cuellar and the undefeated Marrero. Up that time, Marrero caught him with a right hand after missing wildly with a left as they swing toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Good action to start off tonight.
Again, the only loss for Cuellar by knockout, and he was low, really low in his weight. Maybe at this higher weight, maybe Marrero has more than he bargained for. We'll find out. Marrero was quoted as saying he's never been cut. I will never be cut. I'm the Matrix. What happens to me, in my mind, I want to ask the question, what happens if he does get cut? With an attitude like that, wow. If he ever did get cut, does he fall apart? Marrero should have confidence with his southpaw. You know, I talked early on, they're looking in the mirror. Nobody has an edge. Maybe Marrero has an edge. 2 fights ago, he knocked out a southpaw. That should be good for him mentally going into this fight.
See Cuellar just charging straight to the inside. Both guys opening up and available there as they're swinging wide. Already a little bit of swelling under the right eye of the unbeaten Claudio Marrero.
Well, Marrero fights like a guy, I'm going to get you, you're going to get me. And, you know, his record indicates that because of his one loss, he did let the other guy get him.
Now he's showing a little bolo and then landing that left hand. Pretty entertaining stuff here between Cuellar and Marrero early on. Stay with us, more to come. ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. And in part by Mobile One Extended Performance Synthetic Motor Oil. Keep your engine running like new. Close by to this Turning Stone Resort Casino is the Boxing Hall of Fame. It'll be home to Teddy's Fight Plan, home to so much great memorabilia, including that of the youngest heavyweight champion, Iron Mike Tyson, inducted into the Hall of Fame here in upstate New York, where he started his career, learned how to box because of the guy sitting to my right, Teddy Atlas, his trainer at Customato's Catskill Gym, just about 2 hours away from where we are in Verona, just before we went on the air tonight. Iron Mike Tyson came over and embraced Teddy Atlas, said, I hope you're not mad at me any longer. For those who know the story, and I think all boxing fans do, two men who haven't spoken since the mid-1980s. Mike Tyson will join Todd Grisham at the conclusion of this fight for a live interview, and Todd will ask him, why now? The decision to come over and ask for forgiveness. We'll hear from Mike Tyson. Marrero utilizing that jab early on here in round 3. Got free swinging at the end of round 2, both guys.
Well, you see the defensive-minded fighter, the guy who, as we talked about in the setup, can perform like a champion. Marrero's the better defensive guy, a little slicker, looks to make you miss a little bit. Cuellar's the guy who wants to go get you. And there's opportunities when Cuellar's going to get you where you can punch in between some of those wide get-you punches. And there's those wide punches from Cuellar. Marrero didn't do his job. He didn't punch in between. You know, you look to create offense. Usually when you're in there, if you're Marrero, you're looking, how am I going to create offense? I'm going to use my jab to set it up. What am I going to do? With a guy like Marrero, a guy like Cuellar in front of you, Joe, you don't have to look to really create the offense. Cuellar creates it for you. You know, he comes right at you, he forces you to punch, and he leaves himself open. Although right there, Marrero was doing an imitation of Cuellar.
Seriously, just windmilling with that shot.
You know, you don't have to say, okay, I'm going to use my jab, I'm going to feint a little bit, I'm going to go downstairs, then upstairs. Well, when you're fighting Cuellar, he's coming at you. All you have to do is punch in between those shots.
Joe Tessitore, Teddy Atlas with you here at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York. Good night of action. Started off with Cuellar and Marrero here, working our way towards the world title fight coming up. IBF 130-pound title between Arash Usmanee and Argenis Mendez. This is the WBA interim title on the line here at 126 pounds. Of course, a division that has Chris John sitting atop of it at 48-0-3, the Indonesian great who's been wrapping up that title for many, many years now, going back to 2003.
The slicker, if I may, maybe the most sophisticated guy here, I think most would agree with me, is Marrero. That doesn't mean he's going to be the winner at the end of the night and still be undefeated, but he's the guy who, he tends to defense. You know, he looks to make you miss, looks to counterpunch, looks to do that as we speak of it. And Cuellar, one-dimensional, doesn't look to do any of that stuff. Just looks to do that. Get in your kitchen.
Stop punching.
Really is going to be simply about the physicality, the mental toughness of Cuellar, and the better hand speed and, you know, the better polish of Marrero. Which is going to win?
Teddy Atlas's card, as we're a minute and a half here into round number 4, 29-29 through 3. Remember, you at home can join in on Facebook. Click on the live scoring of Friday Night Fights page and jump in at any point at the end of each round. Don't have to stay with us all night. You can jump in, score as much as you want, see how you match up with Teddy and the judges.
Well, right now, matching up, Cuellar, again, the less sophisticated guy, doing pretty good. You know, he's just walking in and he's cavemaning Marrero a little bit.
Sometimes it works in this game.
Yes, it does, especially when a guy like Marrero sometimes goes defensive too much. If he moves his hands a little bit more before Marrero or before Cuellar gets into his kitchen, he wouldn't have to deal with all those wide swings. You know, head movement is great, but sometimes throwing punches is great too. You know, sometimes your offense can take care of your defense. You throw first with a guy
Break. Let him up.
like Cuellar, who's just walking in, but then you don't have to move your head, and you don't have anything coming at you. But if you move your head first sometimes, you allow a guy, a tough guy like Cuellar, and a pretty physical guy, to come in and take shots at you. He's taking shots right now.
End of 4. Chance to check in with Todd Grisham.
Top.
Thank you, Joe. Still to come tonight, Arash Usmanee in our main event. He only has 1 loss on his record, and nearly everyone but the 3 judges that saw that fight feel he should still be undefeated. That said, Usmanee is the underdog in his first title bout tonight, but he is intimidated by no man.
Anytime I step in a ring or in any room, I'm the toughest person I know. That's gonna overwhelm anybody, and that's what we're gonna use.
So still to come tonight in our main event, Arash Usmanee and our Mendez for the IBF title.
Thank you, Todd. Arash Usmanee, who grew up in Afghanistan among the horrors of war. When he was 6 years old, his father's life was taken, a Soviet bomb tearing his family apart. His father was an Afghan National Army recruit, lost several relatives in civil wars and conflicts within Afghanistan, ended up moving to Canada and then eventually to Las Vegas. And now at 31 years old, Arash Usmanee gets a shot at the IBF junior lightweight belt. That'll go on later tonight against Argenis Mendez. And Todd, of course, will have his sit down live with Mike Tyson at the conclusion of this bout. 12 rounds here between Cuellar and Marrero. If you're just joining us, before we went on the air, Mike Tyson, who's the promoter here tonight, first time he's promoting a card, he came over and embraced Teddy Atlas and asked for forgiveness, saying, "Are you still mad at me?" And trying to bridge a gap in a relationship of 2 men who started off in the 1980s and haven't spoken since, with a well-documented departure back in Catskill, New York. So that's still to come. Round number 5 here of our co-feature.
And still to come is the man in red, Cuellar. And that's what he does. He comes, walks forward. Right there, he did a good little piece of allowing Marrero to walk forward and catching him walking forward. If I'm in the corner, Cuellar, you know, he's going to do what he does. I mean, he's not the most polished guy. He's a tough guy. He's going to walk in. He's going to try to be physical and catch you. Probably with something a little bit wide. But I'd be telling Cuellar, direct some of those punches downstairs with Marrero, because he likes to use his legs, Marrero. And if you realize that, you recognize that early on, you have a chance to change the course of the fight. Take some air out of the tires and make it harder for Marrero to get away from you.
Next time it's going to cost you a point.
Little warning by the ref there. Punching behind the head. I don't know if you can blame Cuellar.
Yeah, I mean, the position of how they were turned there, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the most accurate guy in the world, Cuellar. He throws his punches, you know, kind of like shooting a shotgun. You know, that's pellets. They go all over the place. But Marrero turns his head, turns his body, and he does that quite a bit. Again, great opportunities for me. Marrero's moving his legs too much. He should do that. Sometimes just stand his ground. And I suggested it early in this fight. Allow Cuellar to do some of his work for him, to walk into punches. Time him coming in.
Good action right to the bell here. Joe and Teddy with you from Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. Good styles in here early on. Round 6 scheduled for 12 between Cuellar and the undefeated Claudio Marrero.
You know, I'm really curious. I mean, this fight has tweaked my curiosity a little bit too, because quite honestly, I thought Marrero would maybe have his way with Cuellar.
I did too, Teddy. I thought
really
it was
not the case.
Overwhelming favorite to handle.
And just the physicality, the aggression, the toughness of Cuellar has kept him in this fight, maybe more than kept him in this fight, but made it maybe much more interesting than Marrero and his people ever expected it to be. I mean, to a certain extent, Cuellar getting away with things, getting away with coming in with those big looping shots, but doesn't matter. He is getting away with it, and he's having some success with it. But coupled with, and here you see, once he gets in that kitchen, you know, again, I love defense, but to me, Marrero busy making defensive moves, and he's allowing Cuellar to move his hands. Where if he punched in the right spots, Cuellar would not be throwing those shots. Offense sometimes has to take place over defense.
Sent him through the ropes.
See, in the mind of Marrero, he doesn't think this is justified.
7.
Being ruled a knockdown.
Okay, come towards me. Show me that you're
I
right.
can see why the referee scored it a knockdown. He's on the ropes, he's making moves. Cuellar's punching, he goes through the ropes. But in the mind of Marrero, he thinks he was treated improperly. He was making moves, he was a little bit out of position, he lost some of his balance. And he went through the ropes. But he put himself...
Oh, there's a left hand, sweeping left hand that comes in.
Marrero keeps putting himself in tenuous positions, bad positions. Again, making too many defensive moves, going on the ropes too often, and letting a plain, simple, tough, physical guy to do what he can do.
And Marrero tries to come back, just stopping and popping with that right hand, but just that aggression and commitment by Cuellar paying off here in round 6.
Yeah, he's winging.
He sure is, and he scored with another headshot in the mix there.
And again, one-dimensional, a little bit of a caveman, all the things I stand by him work. And right there you saw Marrero go down to a knee to try to get out of that position.
Jesus Cuellar, his U.S. debut. The Argentinian off to a good start here. Scored the knockdown in round 6.
Early in the round, you see Cuellar connect with a wide looping right hand, but the left hand is down of Marrero and the right hand gets through. Now, towards the end of the round, on the ropes, you know what? Marrero has a good argument. These punches not really landing. We cut out a little early there. I wish we would have stayed a second longer and saw the end of that. But what happened there was Marrero goes through the ropes. Didn't really get caught, Joe. Those punches were glancing punches. They were missing punches. But he put himself in bad position, bad balance, went through the ropes. I don't think it was a knockdown, but I could see why the referee named it.
There was not one single punch that hurt him. There was not one single punch that put him down. But Cuellar was throwing punches, touching him, and he ended up going through the ropes. And this is the game of boxing. It's going to go that way.
And the game right now is being played. Marrero is playing Cuellar's game. Marrero is right in the kitchen.
Rugged and ugly.
Yep.
Oh, he just got hit with a left hand, though. And now a right uppercut as Marrero swinging away.
Well, Marrero's punches a little bit shorter, a little more refined, and a little faster.
Fun to watch here.
Put your heads in there.
So is Marrero playing the game of Cuellar by being in close where Cuellar has to be to win? The only place Cuellar has a chance? Or is Marrero understanding that he can win that game? Right now, he's understanding he can win that game.
And he's winning it.
Yeah, he's in the geography. Yeah, he's in the territory that's the best for Cuellar. But because he's quicker and a little shorter, he can have his way there.
Off balance as he heads back to the corner. And will need to be separated.
Quick, let him go.
Been a rugged and wild first 2 minutes of 7th round. Reaching in that time with the right hand and scoring, and then another right hand and a four-punch combination with headshots.
I'm starting to wonder about the condition. Not just the defensive lapses of Marrero keeping his hands down, but the condition of Marrero looks to me like Cuellar has more in the tank.
No defense to be found. They're fighting on heart, swinging back and forth, and the crowd now giving him a standing ovation here with still a half minute to go in round number 7.
Let him go. Step out.
Look, this is a test of the heart and the will of both fighters, but it's also a test of the judges in this fight. The judges are going to have to really be on their P's and Q's to be looking not just at the action, who's landing in this action, who's really landing the telling punches.
Hands down around their hips, looking for one last opportunity.
Break. Step back. Bell. Vamos.
See them tending to Claudio Marrero,
No le
the
muestre más.
14-0, 11 knockout prospect, going up against a rugged, tough, and determined Argentinian Jesus Cuellar. What a wild 7th round that was, as Cuellar was hurt early, but then rallied late.
Terrific fight, terrific action, but not the quality that I was expecting, at least from Marrero. Not surprised with Cuellar, just a tough, rugged, go-get-you kind of guy. But Marrero expecting a little bit more than what we've seen. A guy who's had a lot of deficiencies in his game, especially on the defensive side. Hands down, making too many moves, and paying a price for both those deficiencies, for having the hands down and making too many moves. A lot of work, no matter whether Marrero goes to 15-0 or drops to 14-1. A lot of work for the people behind the career in the gym to do on Marrero. Makes you wonder about some of these ratings. I look at the ratings, Marrero, WBA number 2. I look, Cuellar, WBA number 4. You know, you look at these ratings and you sometimes say, wow, what are they rating on?
Right.
You know, and then makes me say, when are we going to get some consistent, real, viable, credible ratings committees? And I think there's one out there that we're missing the boat by not using them. Transnational Boxing Ratings, which is headed up by a writer, Springs Toledo, and really a group of national and international writers that have no biases. I mean, they have no agendas. They call it the way it is, and they rate it the way it is. I really think we should start using and looking somewhere, and that's a place we should look. Transnational Boxing Ratings, not WBA, not WBC, not IBF, not WBO, and definitely not Ring Magazine. I mean, come on, the ratings by Ring Magazine, did anybody take notice that Ring Magazine is owned by a promoter?
But do you feel that that's affected the ratings?
Well, it's a conflict of interest.
It is a conflict of interest, no doubt, but when you look at the ratings, do you feel that they're off base?
I think all those ratings are off base. And I don't want a magazine telling me what fighters should be rated where, when that magazine is headed up by a promoter who has an interest in some of those fighters being rated. Slow down a little bit, the pace here. I think that favors Marrero, because I just don't think he's in as good a shape as Cuellar. If I was in the corner of Cuellar, I would have kept the gas, you know, the pedal down.
Break. Step out. Stop.
Good-looking opener here on the season finale of Friday Night Fights between Jesus Cuellar and Claudio Marrero. Reminder that we have the IBF Junior Lightweight title fight coming your way. Arash Usmanee, Argenis Mendez. We already told you the story of Usmanee, improbable finish to his year as he was robbed in a controversial decision loss to start the Friday Night Fight season. He looks to wrap it up with a chance to win a world title. That's coming up as Mendez will be in action. Same ropes in which Marrero got in trouble with earlier in round number 6 when it was ruled a knockdown. Here it's simply a push and a slip, says Dick Picosdi.
Those ropes are a little loose, and one of the reasons for it is the little piece of rope that has Turning Stone Casino on it, Joe, that is supposed to hold the ropes together. It's not placed properly.
Marrero's throwing some big shots as he goes backwards. There's a cut around the right eye, I believe. I'm seeing the blood on Marrero. I'm also seeing some of it spread across my notes in front of me.
Well, we talked about it earlier. You know, we asked the question. This could be very interesting. Marrero, I read his quote early, Joe. He said that he's never been cut. I will never be cut on the Matrix. And I asked the question, well, what happens if he does get cut? We're about to find out.
Yep, it's the right eye, and it's pretty significant, Teddy.
Yeah, and, you know, how does he act now when he gets back to that corner? After having that almost arrogant, you know, sort of stance that I'll never be cut. I never have to worry about that. Well, you got to worry about it now. I'm wondering how it's going to affect him in this fight.
They fight through it as Marrero was looking to the referee on that last punch that came towards the back of the head. And you can see some frustration from Marrero now, just having to deal with Cuellar all night long. Good combination, he sends him back. It was a left hand that sent him back at the end of that.
Well, so many things that really Marrero wasn't prepared for. He wasn't prepared for this kind of contact, wasn't prepared to get cut. You know, wasn't prepared for a guy like Cuellar to just walk to him all night and keep swinging.
Florida-based unbeaten prospect from the Dominican Republic as it stands now unbeaten. But just look at the body language here in these final moments of the 9th round as Cuellar keeps coming and coming.
Marrero goes straight back. You can go with him. He throws punches with his hands down. You can do that. You can catch him.
More headshots raining in on Marrero.
You want to know how that cut came about? Well, here it is. Marrero coming in with his head. You know, that's just bad technique. His upper body is ahead of his lower body as he's throwing the punch. The punch should be there first, not the head. The head of Marrero was there first. The punch was second. He comes away with the first cut of his career. We're going to see how he handles that now.
Cut is one thing, and then the way his legs looked at the end of that 9th round is another thing as we begin round number 10, scheduled for 12.
Yeah, it's been raining. Bad weather for Marrero.
No doubt.
He's looking for an umbrella. They don't have him in the ring.
That's a knock. No, they're ruling that a slip. Cosby earlier tonight ruled a knockdown in circumstances against the ropes.
Marrero does a lot of damage to himself, just like he got that knockdown scored earlier in the night on the ropes. You know, putting himself on the ropes, getting himself out of position. He's awkward. He hopes he's awkwardly clever, but sometimes he's just awkward and out of position with his hands down, and he's paid a price for that.
Marrero just landed a left hand against that cut. This being termed a WBA interim title fight as each man trying to get themselves into even better position at 126 pounds. And a world title fight, IBF world title fight at 130 pounds will be coming your way. And in just moments, we're going to hear from Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight champion of the world, who's the promoter of record tonight in upstate New York. Standing by is going to talk to Todd Grisham, and undoubtedly, first question Todd's going to ask him, the circumstances just 1 minute before we went on air when he came over, hugged and embraced Teddy Atlas, and he's going to mend that relationship earlier tonight. And really, for those of us that work in this industry, and Teddy, I'll just say it now, we'll talk more about this later tonight. I mean, I was stunned and I was catching my breath. As a friend and as a colleague, I think we all know the circumstances as to why you and Mike haven't spoken since the mid-1980s. A guy who went on to make millions upon millions, and because of the man you are and the stance that you took, you stepped away from that relationship. It's well documented why that happened, and he came over to you before we went on the air and said, I hope you're not mad at me any longer. Is there anything else you can share with us about what happened ringside before we hear from Mike in moments?
No, that's it. It takes a man to, under those circumstances, to come over and put his hand out. So
we'll hear from Mike in
I
moments.
appreciated that.
As this fight has been really entertaining. Marrero and Cuellar.
Better round for Marrero. Every time Cuellar takes his foot off the gas, Marrero gets himself a chance to steady the ship a little.
He sure did in this round. That's the cut that they're tending to above the right eye of the unbeaten Claudio Marrero, that the commission here is ruling was caused by a punch. Obviously, we've showed you the replay. It's clear as day that it was caused by a clash of heads, but it goes in the books as being caused by a punch. So with just over 5.5 minutes to fight, that's in the record books if it was to be stopped that way. Be a TKO victory for Jesus Cuellar, as Marrero's looking to maintain his unbeaten mark here, but Cuellar, rugged, aggressive, has had some big moments. Scored the knockdown in round number 6.
If it did go in the record book, as you just said, it would be a mistake. And that's why you just wonder why these commissions, why boxing on the whole doesn't use the technology when it's available. I mean, you got a television production crew doing your fight on national TV. Take advantage of it. If you're not sure whether or not it was a headbutt or a punch, go look at the videotape.
Mike Mazzulli at Mohegan Sun, Connecticut did that earlier this year. Remember, Teddy?
Yes, he did.
Overruled a
And that's what
fight
you
we
should
had.
do. I mean, you don't, it doesn't really take Einstein really to figure that out. I mean, you have TV cameras there. Use them. You know, you're not sure. You want to get it right? Well, there's one way to get it right. Go look at the video. And it doesn't take long. Look at it in between rounds. And even if you already made the judgment, so what? Go correct it.
Moments that have been really tough to score here tonight. And then you got that knockdown in the 6th round. You got that wild 7th round where Cuellar was hurt early but rallied back, and Marrero was taking. And then a huge round in the 9th round by Cuellar.
Look, the style of Cuellar, I called him a caveman, you know, in a very endearing way.
Undoubtedly.
If it's possible to call someone a caveman in an endearing way, but I did. Coming forward, being a tough son of a gun, just throwing punches, but his style is really relied on pressure. Full speed ahead pressure. And every time he slows down, that style is not serviced. That style is exploited, taken advantage of. When he slows down, Marrero, being a little slicker, a little cute on the outside, can have his way. And it's played out that way.
He's trained by Robert Garcia, the 2012 Trainer of the Year, who's got top level guys at Donaire, and his brother Mikey, Brandon Rios, will be fighting Pacquiao. He's a little more rugged than most of the crew that comes out of Garcia's camp.
Again, every time you get a guy like Cuellar whose skills aren't that polished, he lays back, he takes a chance of losing a round.
We will see how this plays out here between Cuellar and Marrero in the 12th and final round, as Marrero came in with a lot of hype, the 24-year-old good-looking prospect from the Dominican Republic, 14-0. Cuellar making his U.S. debut, 22-1, fighter from Argentina. Not as polished, rugged, aggressive, but it's paid off so far tonight.
And for those fighters at home that like to keep their hands down, just watch this fight. And you see a good reason not to. Marrero's paid a price for being undisciplined with those hand placements.
And he's back for a moment, caught him with a left-handed Marrero.
See, the key for Marrero is arms a little longer, a little quicker, his hands. Problem is he keeps his hands low and he allows Cuellar to get close before Marrero can get those hands off. By keeping them low, forget about the defense, but it really disrupts his offense, Marrero, because he doesn't have them in chamber, in punching chamber. So by the time he gets them off, Cuellar's already crossed that line and gotten into him a little bit.
Marrero chasing back, and he slipped
Come here.
in that blue corner.
Give me your gloves.
The advantage for Marrero, and he hasn't used it enough, is right here to punch. Keep those hands up a little bit, not even for defense, just so he can get those shots off before that happens. Before Cuellar closes real estate on you.
Right. Done.
You find a guy like Cuellar, you want to punch when he's on the outside. Catch him out there, and then catch him on the way in. Make him pay a price for the real estate that he's trying to eat up. And right now, Cuellar not really landing, but he's not paying a price as he closes that real estate.
Break. Break.
You know, Joe, Cuellar just being allowed to walk in spots.
Break. Let him go. Don't punch.
And now he doesn't even have to walk in. He's got Marrero, who's a little desperate now, falling forward at him.
There's a left hand that landed flush.
Yeah, those opportunities are always there. Always there.
Now he chases him back, throwing rights and lefts. Oh, it's going to be a good final half minute here if they keep up that kind of pace.
Stop punch. Stop punching.
Let's see if they get after it here, Teddy.
Oh, Cuellar's hurt.
Yep, there's
Cuellar's
blood
hurt.
there.
Cuellar's
And then he
hurt.
thuds him with a right hand as they go on an exchange against those ropes near the red corner. Last 15 seconds.
I mean, what a slugfest.
It really is.
And again, Cuellar just throwing. Marrero a little quicker, a little shorter. But he hasn't really used that advantage enough. Now the interesting part. Who's it go to?
Did Cuellar pull it off? Can Marrero stay unbeaten? Remember, there was a knockdown scored for Cuellar in round number 6, and he had that huge 9th round. Gonna be interesting to see. Good fight, wildly entertaining. The season finale of Friday Night Fights, and it started with this guy, Mike Tyson, coming over and embracing Teddy Atlas. We'll talk about that right after the decision. ESPN Friday Night Fights presented by Corona Extra is brought to you by Energizer Ultimate Lithium. That's positive energy. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas, glad you're with us here at the Turning Stone Resort Casino in upstate New York. Great start to the night with our 12-round featherweight bout for the WBA interim title. Jesus Cuellar and Claudio Marrero. Marrero came in unbeaten. Some tough rounds to score there, even with the knockdown in the 6th round, the huge round in the 9th. Teddy saw it that way. Facebook sees it this way, 11-1.
Well, I don't see it 11-1, but I could see Cuellar winning the fight. I'd have no argument at all seeing that. I can understand it. Not an easy fight to score because of all the rough tactics,
Agreed.
all the little bit of sloppiness in spots, even though there was great action. But 11-1, gee, I don't know.
Sometimes reckless aggression does pay off. Let's see if that's the case tonight. And he got it here and handed Marrero his first loss. For that, we go up to Bob Alexander. Apologize for the audio difficulties with Bob Alexander.
Check, check. Ladies and gentlemen, from the event center at the Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. After 12 rounds of championship boxing, we go to the scorecards. Judge Don Ackerman scores the bout 115-112. Judge Tom Schreck scores the bout 114-113. Judge Wynn Kent scores the bout 116-111. For the winner by unanimous decision, Jesus Cuellar.
Cuellar did it. Marrero's first loss. He falls to 14-1.
I have no problem with that decision. I had it 115-113 the other way. Could easily have it 115-113 or somewhere around there, close the other way. So very difficult rounds in spots to differentiate from, but 11-1, you guys at home, well, you must be having a good time. That's all I can tell you.
Well, look at the emotion here with Cuellar and Robert Garcia, the southpaw from Argentina, stepping up and delivering tonight. Big win for him in his career. We got a world title fight still to come in our main event between Usmanee and Mendez. For now, we check in with Todd.
Thank you, Joe. He is now a promoter, but at one time, Mike Tyson was known as the baddest man on the planet. Kid Dynamite, 50 victories, 44 of them coming by way of knockout, as seen here. Some of his greatest hits, the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, 20 years old, Iron Mike Tyson from Catskill, New York. He's traded in his gloves for not really a whistle, a clipboard, something like that. Hey, it's now time to look like a champ. Presented by Just for Men. He's now a promoter, but as I mentioned, baddest man on the planet at one time, still holds the record as the youngest heavyweight champion ever. In his first reign, he made 9 straight title defenses. That's tied for 6th most in heavyweight history. He knocked out 76% of his opponents, 7th best among all heavyweight champions. And joining me now, the man of the hour, Iron Mike Tyson. Before we talk about your promotional exploits now, let's talk about what happened before the fight.
What happened?
You went over, you spoke to Teddy Atlas. Why did you decide to do that after not speaking to him for 2 decades?
I don't know, man. Life is short, man. I don't have no, I made amends with everybody. I never talked to Teddy and made any kind of amends with him or said sorry. And I just owe that to my sobriety to make amends. And that's just what I want to do with my life, you know. I'm a vicious addict, and I'm recovering, and I'm gonna die. If I don't follow my steps, I'm useless. If I don't do what the book tells me to do, I'm going to die, and that's just what's going to happen.
How important was Teddy Atlas to you earlier in your life? As far as
extremely important. And he was next to my friend Costa, too, one of my best friends. And I was just so happy that Costa's a conscious, good man. And I was just happy that he seen that I really meant and was sincere about making my amends to Teddy. I was wrong, and I'm just happy to be man enough to make my amends. You know, I don't know what life has in store for me. I'm never going to be wealthy, and all that stuff is never going to happen. I'm just happy if I died tomorrow, I was overpaid. And that's just one of the perks right there.
Well, we were glad to see it, and I know Teddy Atlas certainly appreciates it. Now you're a promoter. What made you think you were going to be a good promoter?
Hey, I don't know. The only thing I know is that at the end of the day, the fighters won't be like Mike Tyson and say, hey, where's my friends and money go, you know? And that's just not what I want to do. I want to be here, and I want to be at the best interest of the fighters. And I don't know where this is going to lead me at. This is just my first event, and I'm just very grateful. And that's what I'm trying to convey is gratitude.
Your career will be forever linked with your promoter at the time, Don King. What did you learn from him as far as what not to do?
Well, I learned not to abuse my fighter, and also about that, I have no grudges against Don. Love and forgiveness is a great focus in my life, and if I can forgive them, hopefully people can forgive me who I've did wrong to.
Do you remember the maddest you ever got at Don King, something he did that really got under your skin?
Well, whatever he did, he took my money and I was angry. And I did a lot of bad things to people too. So listen, this is the real deal. I'm not supposed to be heavyweight champ. I'm not supposed to have all that money. I'm not supposed to have all the planes, the cars, the houses, the beautiful women. I'm not supposed to have all that thing. That's not supposed to happen to me, but it did. And I'm very grateful for it. And I'm very grateful for the life I have now. And I'm going to try to rebuild it and continue to be a positive role model for me in my life. I can't do nothing. I have control over nobody else but me. And that's all I can't get nobody well if I'm not well. And I want to get well from a human and a psychological and an emotional perspective. I have a lot of pain and I just want to heal it. And that was part of it right there.
Now, when you say those things weren't supposed to happen to you, why weren't they supposed to happen to you? Why not you?
Why not? Why? Because my mother's a prostitute, my father's a pimp. I never went to school. I've been locked up 50 times before I was 12 years old. You know, unfortunately, I shot people. People shot at me. I'm a street guy. I'm not proud. I'm not no bad guy. I'm a wimp. I'm a smuck. I'm dirt. I'm garbage. I just don't feel good about all those things I did. And by me following my steps and following my sponsor, I feel good about myself. I've never felt as good and positive about myself as I did now. And that's when I had the championship, all this money, I still felt about me. this is the most I've ever felt about myself as a human being.
Well, you're in a great place, and it's great to see. Let's talk about the heavyweight division right now. A lot of people think it may be a little bit boring because of the dominance of the Klitschko brothers. If you were in your prime, what would happen if you fought Vladimir Klitschko?
Hey, I don't know. You know what I mean? Fighters get better as time goes on. They don't get worse. And they may not look better, but they get better. And, you know, I have to take my hats off to them and give them the most respect that I can about them. But in my personal opinion and my sick head, I'm just fighting clean with food and water, no medicine, no steroids, no nothing. Clean fight, healthy guy. If I can't beat everybody, I would bet my life I could.
Well, you're wearing all white right now. A pure Mike Tyson. We love to see it. Before you go, one final question. Looking back at your career, if you were to show one fight to someone who'd never seen you fight before that really defined the kind of fighter you are, what bout would you show them?
It couldn't be one fight. It couldn't be one fight. I would have to show him Buster Douglas, and then I would have to show him myself again as of now after that when I came out of prison and won the championships again. And then I fought Holyfield, and then I lost that fight, and then I bit his ear. And then look at me now. I would have to show from that perspective, from the Buster fight to now. That's what I would show them, from Buster to now.
We appreciate your time. Thanks again for stopping by. Good luck with your promotion.
Pleasure. Thank you. Oh, it's a wonderful night, isn't it?
A great fight to start it out. Iron Mike Tyson is now a promoter, and he's in a great, happy place, and we love it. All right, so that'll do it for now, but still to come, our main event, ladies and gentlemen, our Jonas Mendez taking on Arash Usmanee. It's next.
Friday Night Fights from Turning Stone Resort Casino, presented by Corona Extra. We're going to finish up the season of ESPN Boxing with an IBF 130-pound title fight. It is set the tail of the tape to show you the advantages between Jonas Mendez and Arash Usmanee. Mendez, 6 foot tall, 4 inches taller than Usmanee. Usmanee, the Afghani turned Canadian, gets his big shot now at 31 years old. Mendez, the edge and experience, with it all on the line, 16 championship rounds he has fought in his career. First title defense after winning it in March, fighting for a 12-round decision loss, as well as taking the title eliminator prior to this moment. And there is Jonas Mendez, 27 years old, checked in right at the limit of 130 pounds. The IBF junior lightweight champion from the Dominican Republic, now living in NYC. Ring Magazine's got him number 2. Mendez, an Olympian for the DR back in 04. And was able to defeat Juan Salgado. Arash Usmanee, the 31-year-old, now based in Vegas, but his story of arriving to this point in his career is a unique one. He grew up in Afghanistan among the horrors of war. He made his way to Canada, was a national champ there, and now trained by Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, former light heavyweight world champion, out in Vegas. You see the success he had prior. The one loss there, boy, you can put an asterisk next to his record with the one loss, with that 20-1 record. He was absolutely robbed in our season opener back in January against Francis Bartholomew. Teddy has the fight plan, presented by Corona Extra.
Neither one of our main eventers are in this place. Not yet. But one of them's a world champion. One of them wants to become one. That put together sometimes can create a Hall of Fame fight. Let's look at the nominees right now. It's going to be Mendez against Usmanee. I'll be Mendez. Now, Mendez, the sharper guy on the outside, bang, he's going to want to do that. Catch Usmanee, who likes to come forward and be aggressive. I know there's a bad habit with Mr. Usmanee. Sometimes after he throws his shots, instead of using his legs to go out at the right distance, what he'll do from too close, he throws his shots, he does this, he pulls back a little bit. So, if you're Mendez, well, you stay in the pocket a little bit, and when he pulls back like that, you block the shots first, then bang, you go right with him. Ah, gotcha. And if you do that, well, maybe they'll put your robe right up here. That'd be nice. All right, now how does Usmanee make sure that Mendez is never allowed membership in his place? Well, he could start by winning. How does he win? Well, you can start by understanding that he's the bigger, more physical, stronger guy. And that means get on the inside with Mendez. So he's got to move his head, get inside, and then what? Work the body of the smaller man. Work both sides. Bang, bang, bang. He's very good at that. But you have to understand that Mendez will not want you to work on the inside. He'll look to grab. He'll look to smother you a little bit, clinch a little bit. So what do? You use your legs a little bit. Get that into the equation. If you're Usmanee, throw the shots underneath, move your feet, bang, move your feet, bang, 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 bang. Just keep moving backwards. Enough to keep a little separation, keep the punches flowing, keep moving a little bit. And if you do that, well, you move right to a world title. You'll move to maybe title defenses. You might even wind up moving right into this joint. That'd be a nice move.
11 wins by way of knockout. El hijo de San Juan de la Maguana de República Dominicana. Here is the reigning and defending IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the world, Argenis La Tormenta Mendez.
Argenis Mendez won the title back on March 9th. Benji Esteves, the referee for the IBF Junior Lightweight title bout.
Strip him down. I'm sorry, I'm working. Tiene intrusiones que de interior, some instruction they gave you before, que era una pelea limpia y profesional, when a trained professional fight. Stop it. Stop it right now. Pay attention. I'm in charge here. Touch up. Good luck.
Benji Esteves stopping something before it gets started. Usmanee showing some of his grit, some of his anxiousness to get to this world title.
Gamesmanship, or does it just simply reveal something about Usmanee's state heading into this big opportunity?
He's anxious. You know, he's been through a lot of drama, a lot of emotions the last 7.5 months. 7.5 months ago, he thought he beat an undefeated Bartholomew. He got the fight taken away. He thought the dream of a world title was going to at least be pushed back. And then he had to change emotional gears again after being down. And now, see right in front of him, this opportunity for a world title. You know, he's chomping at the bit. He's showing it.
Lands a right hand over the long range of Mendez, as you can easily tell his strategy. You know, 4 inches shorter, getting right to the inside, and lands another right hand early.
Well, he's doing what he needs to do. He's the stronger, bigger, more. He needs to be aggressive to use those assets, if they're going to be assets. Needs to be in close and nullify the talents of Mendez. I think the talents of Mendez, he's fairly slick, pretty good defensively. He likes to counter, but he likes to have a little range to do that. Usmanee seems to understand. He wants to take that range, that distance away from Mendez. And I think he's right. But he's got to be careful on the inside. He's got to be tucked up, Usmanee. Because even in close, Mendez has got quick hands. He's the faster guy. And he'll counter in close, too. He'll snap off real quick, sharp counters.
So Mendez extending that left hand rather than jabbing it out. And Esteves already giving him a warning. There he comes with a right hand. Did place the right hand to the body successfully moments ago.
Yeah, Mendez's best game is if he's got a little range to be able to catch Usmanee coming in. You know, make him pay for real estate, so to speak. But again, it's not beyond Mendez to be able to fight off the ropes in close where he can make you miss and try to come back with counters.
Two-punch combination from Mendez. Usmanee comes back and fires off a right hand.
I think you're going to find, and Usmanee's going to find, and hopefully for his sake, as people understand it, you got to be in. Either you're in or you're not in this fight. You got to either be committed all the way inside of you, Usmanee, or you got to be all the way out, where Mendez can't pot shot you. Got to be in and out. Can't be in between Usmanee. And when you get in, and Usmanee's in, that's what he's got to do. He's got to work that body. And he's got to try to find a way to make those punches be a little more telling and find a way to land better than those landed.
Mendez covered up there and then was able to get some head movement in defensively as well. Now puts a jab to the body.
Yeah, Mendez is a good defensive fighter, and he uses defense for offense.
Fires that jab off the hip one more time. Good opening round here in our world title fight. Saul Avilar, member of the Friday Night Fight crew, who's gotten to know through the years as part of Teddy's fight plan. Well, guess what? This week, a new addition to the Avilar family, Alexis Atlas Avilar, as a tribute to his dear friend, the middle name after Teddy. Look at little Alexis, so cute. She weighed in at 7 pounds, 14 ounces, 19.5 inches tall. Wife Miriam's doing great. We wish everyone in the Avilar family all the best and congratulations and welcome little Alexis with a unique bib there, the pink and white Friday Night Fights baby apparel.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Congratulations, Saul and Miriam.
Quite an honor, Teddy. Little girl carrying your last name as her middle name.
Yeah, I appreciate the respect and the thought by Miriam and Saul very much. Hope that name doesn't hold her back in any way. I'm sure as hell glad that it's a girl, not a boy. The boy, we'd have to get him in the gym immediately. The girl, we can put that off for a while.
Round number 2 here. 130-pound belt in the IBF on the line as Argenis Mendez trying to make his first title defense. Took it in March. Usmanee, the Afghani-born Canadian national amateur champ, trying to put forth that strategy early on. We saw in round number 1 get to the inside.
Mendez sometimes does a little bit of, you know, his imitation of Floyd Mayweather a little bit. You know, he curls that left shoulder, he rotates that shoulder, does that shoulder turn.
And there's the little right hand that comes at the end of it.
Yeah, he tries to make you reach in with a right hand of your own. Takes that left shoulder, rotates it back, makes you miss, and then, as you said, loads up with the right hand automatically, like Floyd Mayweather does.
And you know what I love about that, Teddy? I always appreciate through the years of seeing the guys that can do it really well, the shoulder roll in the right hand, is the right hand is basically only going back to about their left shoulder.
Yeah, well, it's a natural move. I mean, you rotate that right shoulder back. You got the left shoulder up, the chin tucked into that left shoulder. You rotate the right shoulder back for defense, and you block any incoming on that shoulder, on the left shoulder. And then, as you said, the right shoulder is cocked. It's in the chamber of the gun, ready to be fired.
And still staying tight, defensively sound, and offensively ready.
This may be a little bit of a preview of Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez a little bit. Alvarez is going to want to be the bigger, stronger guy, go to the body, probably get close to Floyd, and Mendez is showing you what Floyd's going to look to do with that aggression.
Now jousting and stiff arming, as we've seen throughout the night. Come to the end of 2.
You got to be careful coming in that front door with a counterpuncher like Mendez. Otherwise, he'll do that. Rotate that right shoulder back a little bit. Make you fall short with your punch, the right hand by Usmanee. And then Mendez scores with his punch, his right hand.
I think a good example of what both guys will look to offer up consistently in this IBF title fight at 130 pounds. You can see Usmanee getting to the inside, looking to smother. And good, solid, sharp shooting. Sound work from Argenis Mendez, the IBF champ.
Joe, if there's a little space, just what you said, Mendez is going to look to take advantage of that space with some sharp punches. His hands are faster, his punches are sharper.
See the head movement as well here with his back up against the ropes. Rolling with that right hand, getting away from that left hook of Usmanee.
Usmanee wants to hope to be the tougher, more determined guy. And that toughness, that determination, that aggression, that pressure, Well, he's hoping that's going to show itself later on. Skill and speed, pure talent, is going to show itself early in the fight, and that's going to be Mendez. So no shock that Mendez is getting out to a lead.
Mendez landed 2 body shots there in the opening minute of round number 3.
When you're hoping to be the tougher, more aggressive guy, those talents, they take time to show themselves. They take rounds to show themselves. Usmanee just hopes that he gets a chance to show it. He gets those rounds.
Estevez, the referee, saying that Mendez cuffed him and hooked him behind the head there on that last incident against the ropes.
Let me put some tangible documentation, some facts to Usmanee. As I've said, the bigger, stronger, more physical guy. Most of his career, Usmanee has been at lightweight while Mendez started at the featherweight. And then he moved into junior lightweight and stayed there. So the bigger guy, Usmanee, and he's where he needs to be. Whether or not he can make it productive, well, it's got a lot to do with him figuring out the defense of Mendez. But Usmanee hopes that size and physicality is the difference in his fight.
I'll tell you, that was good work from Mendez moments ago with the left hand, tripling it up, going with the hook to the body, went upstairs. Look at, he does it again. As the left hand being employed by Argenis Mendez.
And right now, Usmanee, look, he's showing you what his game plan is. He hopes to wear down Mendez, get him on the ropes, wear him down a little bit. But again, not that easy, because Mendez gets a little space, and he did a good job a minute ago counterpunching with the right uppercut. He's got the quicker hands, he's slicker. You know, he's more sophisticated. The problem with Usmanee, he's gotten close, Joe. Look, he's where he wants to be as far as geography, but he's not effective because of the defense and the quickness of Mendez. Well, we talked about when there's separation, it's going to be Mendez having the better of it. Little separation there, and a nice left uppercut landed by Mendez as Usmanee gives him that opening by coming in, reaching a little bit, getting lost in space a little.
Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. Round number 4, IBF Junior lightweight title fight here on Friday Night Fights. Brought to you by Corona Extra. It's been a good night of action. Started off with Jesus Cuellar's upset of the previously undefeated Claudio Marrero, and so far tonight, this one going according to your script, Teddy, in the fight plan, as Usmanee, for the most part, is doing what he's wanted to do in terms of geography, in terms of strategy, but Mendez, as you said, so talented, so athletic, very skilled, and at times, as much as Usmanee's where he wants to be, still not getting the job done.
Yeah, simply put, so far, Mendez's defense has been up to the task of the aggression and physicality of Usmanee.
CompuBox has it this way with the power punches in the last round. Mendez with a 21-13 advantage.
Mendez's defense has just not been penetrable yet. See, it goes to show you why we call this sport the sweet science. It's not enough to be tough. It's not enough to be aggressive, to be strong, to jump on your opponent and try to manhandle the guy. It's got to be more to it than just that, because science will take those advantages away. Right now, it's the science of Mendez. Usmanee wants to stay aggressive, wants to stay physical, but he's got to mix some science in. He's got to mix in some intellect. He's got to figure out a way to make this aggression more effective.
Bring no punching.
When he gets inside, one way he can do it is instead of he's reaching in from too far away. And that's where the counter-punching ability of Mendez really shows itself.
Yeah, he's picking him off.
If he's making him pay. You know, he's making him miss, making him come up short, making him pay. But Usmanee has a good chin, a good will, and he gets right back inside.
Landed a right hand to the body against the 4-inch taller Argenis Mendez.
See, what Usmanee has to be careful on the way in, going through that bad neighborhood. Don't get mugged going through that bad neighborhood on your way in with the quicker Mendez. And once you get in there, Joe, Usmanee needs to find a way to be more effective and stay in there. Don't pull back out where Mendez has the advantage. doing a little better now, Usmanee. You know, he's hoping that he will wear down. He will start to penetrate Mendez. And he's starting to do that a little bit this round.
Coming on the attack, sticking with the game plan, hoping to find incremental success here as he continues to come in against the IBF champion.
Much better round for Usmanee. That Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll, take another look. A little bit of a shoulder roll, counter right hand. You're coming in from too far away, exposing yourself. Against some people, you don't pay a price. Against Mendez, well, that's his game. He looks to counter you. Now that replay, Joe, is a good example of why I made it a 10-9 round for Mendez, where I was tempted, and I wondered the judges were tempted and the fans at home were tempted to give that round to Usmanee. The best round of the fight for Usmanee so far. But the cleaner punches landed by Mendez. But the best round by Usmanee. He got in close, worked to the body pretty good. You know, he was able to get into Mendez, get a little confidence for the rest of the fight, which was very important for Usmanee after losing the first 3 rounds. But I still think that Mendez grabbed that round with some of those clean shots.
And I think sometimes fans at home, as we saw with the Cuellar Marrero fight earlier tonight, and many fights through the years where people think there's controversial scoring, often default to simple aggression. Teddy has it a sweep right now. 4 rounds to zip for the titleist. You, the fans at home, 3 rounds to 1. Remember, you can go to Facebook.
They got it 3 rounds to 1
for Usmanee.
Wow.
So, you know, once again, just like we saw in the first fight, the fans at home, you're sitting on the couch, you see one guy coming forward, one guy trying to get to the inside, one guy throwing punches, and maybe a lack of appreciation to the counter punching, the sharp shooting, the better defensively sound guy on the inside.
Well, everything
or the
you're
outside.
talking about that we're watching right now, the vision, the eyes, and the accuracy, and the pinpoint picking his spots of Mendez here on the ropes. You know, he's on the ropes, but he's doing all the scoring. I mean, he's getting what he wants. He's playing defense when he needs to, and he's countering when he wants to. You just watch the work that Mendez is doing here. I mean, clean body shot there. That's supposed to be Usmanee's thing. Mendez shows he can do it too.
Look at how comfortable he is defensively with his head movement.
Good eyes, good vision, as you said. Very comfortable, very relaxed in there.
Slipping punches.
Sees everything, knows exactly what it is that he's trying to do there, and that he is doing.
And then every so often he'll take a slight angle and put a body punch in there.
You know, this is a great exhibit A, if we were in court, of the thing that you put forward at the beginning of this round. That the fans at home sitting there looking at aggression. Well, you see the aggression here, but who's winning the round? When you really look at it, when you put that X-ray machine on it and dissect it, there's only one guy really scoring on the inside, although Usmanee scored a right hand there, but up until that point, it's been all Mendez.
Once again, a warning for Esteves of the stiff arming from Argenis Mendez. He uses a jousting kind of move at times.
Yeah, he doesn't really snap his jab, Mendez. You know, that's not one of his weapons for the most part. He uses it as a measuring stick to set up. There he does it again. Just as a measuring stick to get the distance he wants to get his punches off. The guy's supposed to be owning the body, is supposed to be Usmanee. Right here, you can see it's not. It's Mendez. Gets a little distance. He's got good vision, good eyes there, very calm in the inside there. And he scores well with that right hand downstairs. Stays in the pocket nice. Does Mendez.
Mendez won the IBF Junior Lightweight title back on March 9th. It was a rematch against Juan Carlos Salgado. Scored a 4th round KO. First time they fought back in 2011. He scored a knockdown in the 12th round, but lost a decision in his first attempt.
You see the confidence in the ring with Mendez. Part of that confidence is attached, as he says himself, to his trainer. He said, his trainer Lee Beard, there's a quote from Mendez. He said, I've had a lot of trainers, maybe too many trainers. I've had Robbie Garcia, Floyd Mayweather Sr., but none like Lee, and none better than Lee Beard.
Beard trains Mendez, who's New York-based from the Dominican Republic, but he heads over to Great Britain to train Ricky Hatton's dad's gym over in Manchester.
Matter of fact, Mendez came right out and said Lee Beard is better than those other trainers that I had. Got to be confident with your trainer, and obviously the world champion Mendez is confident.
Here's how CompuBox sees it right now. Usmanee throwing 516 punches. A lot of that a smothering effort on the inside. But look at how close the total punches landed are, 121 to 111. And the more effective work we've seen coming from the titleist Argenis Mendez.
And again, Mendez, very calm in there. You know, good radar, good eyes. And he sets punches up. He throws intelligent punches. All his punches he throws, he doesn't waste. You know, Usmanee wastes a lot of punches. I'm not knocking him, but he throws a lot to land whatever he can land.
Good combination there.
Well, that's what I mean. Mendez is accurate with his punches. He doesn't waste anything. What he throws, in his mind, is going to land. You know, Mendez, Usmanee has to throw maybe 30, and he's hoping to land maybe 15 of them. But not Mendez. Mendez, everything he throws, there's a purpose, and there's a real good, reliable confidence in his mind that he's going to land it. Otherwise, he doesn't throw it. Usmanee just throws punches sometimes, hoping to catch you somewhere along the line.
Mendez giving you another taste of athleticism and the defense he's capable of. That time he opened up just a little bit. Usmanee tried to fill the hole with a right hand there.
See, if I'm in the corner of Usmanee, there's got to be an adjustment made. One of the adjustments, I talked about the science to match with the aggression and toughness of Usmanee. He's got to feint, make a little feint, make Mendez move, and then time him. Take a look at some of the fine work by Mendez. He's on the ropes, but he's the one who's, well, he's got Usmanee on the ropes. Even though he's physically laying against the ropes, makes him miss, makes him pay. You know, I said at the end of the last round, and I actually said it early on, that Usmanee has to mix science with some of his toughness and his approach right now. Otherwise, he's going to lose this fight, and he's losing the fight on my scorecard anyway. But he's got to figure out a way to get into that defense of Mendez. And one of the ways I think he has to do it is, you know, Mendez makes him miss and makes him pay. Mendez relies on his defense. So what you got to do is kind of work that against Mendez. You know, turn that around. Where you betray Mendez a little bit for his good defensive moves. What I mean by that is get Mendez to make the defensive move by feigning him too soon. And then when he's out there in space, then throw the punch.
Oh, good left hook. He turned over right on the inside there. Now he goes to the body. Tuck that left hand right under the right elbow of Usmanee. Usmanee tried to give an angle, and instead, the titleist connected with two punches. Now a right hand over the top, wasn't flush. Usmanee committed to what he knows he needs to put forth, but executing it and having success, that's another story.
Again, Usmanee is his own worst enemy. He doesn't want to be, obviously, but he keeps pulling out and giving range to Mendez. He gets frustrated, he can't land clean inside, so he pulls out, gives range, and then things get worse. See, this is where Usmanee needs to be. But he's got to find a way to land cleaner. Instead of just throwing and landing on the arms and just throwing shots, he's got to direct his shots in different ways. Downstairs, instead of throwing the left hook where it's hitting the elbow, move the left hook inside, then throw it outside. Move it around. See right here, Usmanee's throwing, it's hitting all arms there, Joe. What he's got to do is throw one inside, sort of like Mendez does. He throws setup punches, then throw one outside. You know, throw one inside to make the elbow contract, and then go outside. But again, there's hand speed, a little bit of range, defense. The whole package of Mendez is just better. If there's not an adjustment by Usmanee, I don't care how tough he is, Joe, and how good a shape he is, this is going to continue.
What do you say you get up and give us an in-fight adjustment? We'll take a short break, and you can show us what he has to do. Stay with us. Teddy's adjustment next.
All right, now Usmanee obviously has been getting beat up. Why is he getting beat up? Well, he's got a pretty clever, pretty smart Mendez in front of him. Usmanee, I'll be Usmanee. He's throwing shots, just plain shots. And what's Mendez doing? He's making a miss, bang, 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 and he's countering right back. So what you got to do with a slick guy like that, don't just throw and let him make you miss. Feint him. Make him make the move too soon. Then when he makes the move too soon, bang, bang. Then you nail him. Feint him, make a move, bang, then nail him. Get him to show you what he's going to do.
I love it. Little in-fight adjustment from Teddy Atlas as we begin round 8 of our IBF 130-pound title fight. Let's see if Usmanee can do just that. Awkward that time in the blue corner. Lost his footing as referee Benji Esteves comes in to clean those gloves. Mendez right back to having some range, putting out that left hand as Usmanee tries to close the gap there.
Now he's got him on the ropes. He's hitting too much arms again, Usmanee. Now he's got to be a little bit smarter with the placement of those punches. Like I said, I want to see him throw something inside, Joe. A punch inside, get those elbows to contract of Mendez, and then throw something outside. Mendez, again, uses that left hand as a stick to get a little distance measure, and then he counters.
Remember, you can go to Facebook and join in with live scoring for this fight at any point. Go to the Friday Night Fights Facebook page, click on live scoring, and we'll compare you, the viewer at home, to Teddy's scorecard here ringside.
You know, George Foreman, when he was fighting Joe Frazier, he wanted distance. So what did he do? You know, he parried. He pushed off. He used his arms, pushed off Joe Frazier, got a little distance, and then, of course, he crushed Joe Frazier.
Those uppercuts lifting him off the ground down in Kingston, Jamaica.
What Mendez does to get a little distance, he uses, now he's turning southpaw, Mendez, so he's feeling it now. You know, he's feeling he can go southpaw, he can do what he wants. But that's what Mendez does. You just saw it. He uses that left hand, sometimes the forearm, too. He'll lift that forearm, push Usmanee off, but for the most part, he uses that. The left hand sort of, see, he does it again. Just to push Mendez out, measure him, and then get distance to do that. Move his hands. You know, he doesn't
can't
push.
be at the end of that. Usmanee needs to get out of that range right there.
Again, Mendez really doesn't use his jab so much to score and snap your head back. I mean, he can, but for the most part, he uses it to measure you, get you at a distance he likes you at.
Tries to shake off the right hand.
Well, Usmanee right now, his body language is telling you that he just doesn't know what to do. Really, he's a guy that's in there with a ghost, and he just doesn't know how to exercise his ghost. He can't find it. And seeing it more and more is fine. This is where you really need a top corner to try to give you some direction, give you some help.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
Take a look at some of the action from tonight. If it looks like all Mendez action, well, you're right. It is. Distance, making miss, quicker hands, counter punching, putting combinations together, going to the body. Paul Mendez, the world champion.
World champion, one of the very best 130-pounders in the world. Ring Magazine and ESPN.com both have him #2 behind Takashi Uchiyama, the undefeated 130-pounder from Japan. But an impressive showing with Argenis Mendez, the Dominican Republic native living in New York City, and seemingly in control here, at least according to Teddy Atlas on his card, as we start round number 9. Clean sweep 80-72. Facebook fans, we talked about this earlier, favoring aggression earlier, but now coming around 5 rounds to 3 for Mendez.
You know, Mendez has shown through his career, from his success, from his trials and tribulations, if you want, from his journey to get to a title, he's shown me to be the intelligent fighter, the intellectual fighter that he's showing us right here. Because by winning the title, it showed me that he's a fighter that's always on the improve, on the upswing, you know, getting better and learning. He fought and he lost to Juan Salgado for the IBF title back in 2011. Then he fights Salgado again in his last fight, and he knocks him out to win the title. He took that fight, he made the corrections, the adjustments like a smart fighter, and he improved.
And for what it's worth, a lot of folks think he should have lost the first fight back in September of 2011. It was 114, 112 twice, and then 115, 113. He had scored a knockdown in the 12th round. And there were many boos that came into the ring when they heard the scores. Many think this guy should be a champion for the past couple of years, not just since March.
And if the one hope here for Usmanee is to wear down Mendez, well, that's not working, obviously. And in the later rounds, advantage for Mendez. Mendez, more experience going 12 rounds, 4 times. He's gone 12 rounds, while Usmanee only 1 time. All the advantage seems to be for Mendez. Even as we project forward.
Monty just trying to make a little rugged on the inside there.
Most of the fights for Usmanee in Canada, he's not in Canada. Maybe he wishes he was right now.
Survived war-torn Afghanistan, made his way to Canada, found success there as an amateur, now training out of Vegas. Mendez put together another decent round here. There's a right hand that came in. Mendez fires back right through the bell. We will list it in to each corner.
Come on. We can go all day. We're in great condition. All right? All right. We're in great condition. Let your hands go like you're doing. Keep backing him up. That's what I need, to keep backing him up. Okay? Stay on top of him, son.
You got gas?
Okay, well, turn it up and keep them hands up. And don't start dropping your hands, all right? Stop dropping your hands. Let's go right 10th round. I need 10th, 11th, 12. I need all this here.
Former light heavyweight world champion Eddie Mustafa Muhammad in the corner of Usmanee.
You got to don't let the guy just touch, okay? Look at power in the second punch. Use your jab on the outside. Use your jab on the outside, okay? Mendez, stand up. Use your jab on the outside.
Who heard the rave reviews from Mendez. They train over in Manchester, England.
No punching, no punching.
Round number 10.
Usmanee gets in there with his head. He has a technical decision win from a head clash, but so far no damage to either fighter on the inside with the heads. See, Usmanee knew that he had to get close. You know, use that size advantage, what he thought was the physical advantage, but that hasn't been a problem. He's had no trouble getting close. The problem is that when he gets close, he doesn't get the better of it. He gets the worst of it. That's the problem. Penetrating the defense, the slickness of Mendez, dealing with that, solving that, that's been the problem.
Such a low percentage of connects there with all that high volume work from the Afghani.
Say it again. Want to be a fighter out there, you got to do more than road work, more than hitting the bag, more than toning your muscles and being in great shape, and even more than being tough. You got to be smart. And right now, Mendez has just been smarter.
Coffee box is tallying everything for us tonight. Told you about that low percentage. 24% landed of 858 thrown by Usmanee. Of the 240 landed by Mendez. Higher quality work, more effective connects.
You know, we talked about in the fight plan that sometimes Usmanee, after he throws, can pull back from the waist. He'll move his feet, he'll move back from the waist, give a little range, a little distance, and he's paid a price for that. See, he pulls back again. He gets in close, Usmanee, but stops at a bad range, a range where Mendez can extend those hands. You got to be all the way in, all the way out. I said it early with Mendez. And even when you're all the way in, you got to be really, really clever to find a way to penetrate that defense. You can't just chuck punches.
Catches him with the right hand as he took another step forward. Mendez looking to secure his first title defense. We're going to take a very
right hand there by Usmanee. Good right hand by Usmanee.
We'll have the punch of the night when we come back as Usmanee rallies here. Foolproof punch of the night brought to you by Just for Men.
Nice right hand set up by the left uppercut. There's the right hand, but what we didn't see there, we saw it earlier though, the left uppercut by the clever world champion Mendez distracted Usmanee and set up that nice right hand punch of the night.
Mendez looking for 6 more minutes to retain the IBF junior lightweight title.
Sube los golpes. Sube los golpes. Let's go.
You know, there's a little hope. There wasn't a lot of hope before the last round. A little hope. You want to pick up where you left off if you're Usmanee, and if you're in that corner of Usmanee, you want to make a point of that. At the end of the round, you landed maybe your best punch of the night. Right now, in the championship rounds, you landed the right hand. Stay with that right hand. Stay with it. And he landed it again, and he landed it 3 times this round. That's what I would have told him in the corner. Stay with that right hand.
Usmanee trying to get it around the guard. It's been game all night long.
You know, pressure breaks pipes. Now, Mendez hasn't broken. No way. No how. But that pressure, that pressure, that pressure, if he was going to break, this is where you want to start seeing some of those cracks. And this is where Usmanee, after taking punishment all night long, has to believe in that pressure and say, okay, I've done it all night, all night, all night. Now it's going to pay off. That's going to be his attitude. Although he gets a little range. Yeah, the champion.
Connects.
Well, they are the championship rounds.
And Mendez sharpshooting for a moment and got after Usmanee. Remember, Usmanee had that late success against Bartholomew, rocking him in the 12th round, but then getting the wrong side of a really bad decision back in January. Still a title shot here tonight, and still time left to try to pull it out.
Yeah, Usmanee's clever. I should say Mendez is clever. He gets a little range, and then he does that. Moves to faster hands. And again,
a little chippy, a little sloppy.
You know, what's given Mendez the big edge tonight is Mendez is working with defense and offense, coordinating the two of them together. Perfect machinery, Joe. For Usmanee, it's just offense.
Swelling around both eyes of Usmanee here in the final minute of round number 11.
It looked like Mendez got a little affected by that right hand, but I guess not. See, for me, it's got to be the right hand now. That's the only punch that Usmanee's been able to land. And it's got to be set up by something underneath. You know, throw something underneath, a jab underneath, maybe a left hook underneath, and then a big right hand up top to try to catch Mendez, maybe with a shot he doesn't see.
So Mendez still acting like a fighter in there.
Oh, yeah.
He's meeting him, throwing left hands, landing crisp leather there. Final 10 seconds of round number 11.
Mendez acting like a champion.
Yep, sure is.
Doesn't lose his belief in himself.
Not at all. Good stuff between these two heated fighters. as we will listen into both quarters
I need
before
one
the
more
final
round.
round.
Last round. That's wrong. Now you want this thing, you gotta go take it now. Ain't nobody giving you nothing. You gotta go take it now. All right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah.
Let's go. Show me. Last round.
About hook, okay? Come on, man.
Necesitamos este round.
One round.
Este round. 3 minutos. 3 minutos.
Last round. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutos. Necesitamos
Mendez.
este round. Golpe. ¿Tú crees?
Come on now. Win this round. Win this round, we got this fight. Keep the punches short on the inside, okay? Mendez, look at me. Keep the punches short on the inside. Here, boom, boom, okay? Turn out on the hook. Don't let him, Mendez, the last 10 seconds, you finish big.
There's Mendez, his promoter. First time Mike Tyson is promoting a fight card. We've had an interesting night with him tonight. 12th and final round. We'll see if Tyson's titleist can hold on here. He's looked good so far against the constant pressure of the challenger, Arash Usmanee.
That if anything's gonna, if lightning is going to suddenly strike out of the sky for Usmanee, I think it's gonna strike with the right hand. But it's got to be a right hand where it's set up with something underneath. In other words, distract Mendez, trick Mendez. Take Mendez's eyes to the wrong place and then catch him in the right place.
Mendez finding more success there.
Boy,
Right hand is
Usmanee,
glancing.
tough guy, taking
He sure
a
is.
lot of punches, a lot of clean punches tonight. Yes, he's been aggressive, but yes, he's been caught a lot. See what Mendez does? He moves those feet, takes a little step back, and then catches Usmanee on the outside.
Moments ago, you saw looked like the glove of Mendez actually touched the canvas there.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but I don't blame the referee. I was a little surprised that he didn't take a second to clean the gloves off with the fighter whose gloves touched, but I don't think he wanted to stop this action. He wanted it to have its natural flow and its natural completion.
Yeah, if you're wondering what should
fight.
have been a knockdown, I don't think there was a clean punch that landed that causes him to reach down to the canvas. But you're right, the flow of the fight was not interrupted there. Usmanee opening up with right hands of the cuff there. Final 20 seconds, desperation for Arash Usmanee. Afghani-born, came to Canada, got his title shot, catches him here. Final moments, does he have one left here? Big right hand just off the mark.
Got 10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Lottery ticket, uncashed. Instead, Mendez lands a right hand before the bell. A spirited effort between these two. Argenis Mendez, IBF champ. Good showing as his promoter, Iron Mike Tyson, coming in with congratulations. As Usmanee took it to him right to the final bell. But Mendez, with all that skill and speed, able to counter and likely collect that belt again here. We will hear from the judges when we return to Turning Stone. ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. Good action tonight in our main event against Usmanee against Argenis Mendez. Usmanee was trying to smother him, come forward, tons of pressure. Mendez just sharper, crisper, more accurate. You can see that with the CompuBox punched at totals as he landed 36%. Teddy saw it this way from the very beginning. Forget the pressure of Usmanee. It was Mendez just being far more effective, 119 to 109. Facebook saw it for Mendez, 7-5, the IBF titleist. Let's see how the judges had it in this title fight. For that, we go up to Bob Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the event center at Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York, after 12 rounds of championship boxing, we go to the scorecards. Judge Don Ackerman scores the bout 115-113, Usmanee. Judges John McKay and Glenn Feldman both score the bout 114-114. We have a majority draw.
Terrible. We finished the year the way we started it. Bad decision.
You know, Teddy, we actually brought this up early in this fight. It's
terrible.
Actually the most common way you see decisions that often people say, I had it the other way. It's when there's simple aggression compared to sharpshooting, boxing, talent on the inside like that. Often the default is to just go with the simple aggression.
Hey, look, the judges are supposed to be more qualified. Better than that, smarter than that, trained better than that. They're not. They're not. They do a horrible job, and they take the great work of a terrific fighter, a world champion like Mendez, and they flush it down the toilet. We need better judges. We need something in this business to oversee these judges and to hold them accountable. We need to judge the judges, okay?
Don Ackerman, by the way, who had it for Usmanee, is the same judge who had it for Billy Dibb in the title fight back in March against Evgeny Gradovich when Gradovich
Let's talk about
won
some
that fight.
positive things because I'm just sick by this. But good year.
It was a great year. This is our season finale of Friday Night Fights.
Usmanee, Barthélemy, early in the year. It's very ironic. It ends with a bad decision. Started with a bad decision. But that fight was a very good fight. Burgos and Amadou about a month ago was a terrific fight.
How about last week in Chicago?
Well, that was a real good fight, but not as good as the first one. Marlowe and Spielberg, the first one back in February. What a fight that was. Not polished, not guys with great skills, but blood and guts and drag it out and just great drama. And I think we found the guy to look for.
Who's that?
We found Rustam Nagaev.
He had a good year on our series.
Yeah, he popped out of nowhere. You know, he's a Russian fighter who throws a million punches, a tough guy. He's been down a tough road, and he's hungry. He comes in, he throws punches, goes to the body well, throws the right kind of punches, pulled off a big upset with an undefeated Marcelo, who he knocked out on our air. Then he won another fight a few weeks ago on our air. He's a guy to watch.
Interesting to have Mike Tyson come up to you earlier today and say, I'm sincere in making amends with Teddy Atlas. I was wrong. Never thought I would see that after all these years. Iron Mike coming up and apologizing to you earlier tonight. Teddy, 12 years for us now in the books. Just completed our 12th year today. Always great to be with you, my friend.
Yeah, same
I can't
here,
wait
Joe.
for number 13. Todd, to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. So our season ends the way it began, steeped in controversy. But that's boxing. It's never boring, that's for sure. 7 months in the books. We're done until January. We'll see you then. But before we go, a goodbye. Thanks for watching the entire season. For Joe Tessitore, Teddy Atlas, the best production crew in the business, my name is Todd Grisham. Here's a look back at the best of Friday Night Fights from 2013. See you next year.
Yeah.
Right hand.
You where my warriors at?
Massive left hand.
Yeah.
KO victory.
You where my warriors at?
Good shot.
Yeah. You where my warriors at?
Oh, he catches him. And Bernardo made the mistake of going to the place. He didn't belong. Look at him.
And he does with huge power.
Those right hands that are banging off his head.
Oh, good night, sweet prince. Ain't pretty no more. One single right hand done.
up the echoes, sounding the cheer. People on the streets singing victory is near. Take down the thunder from the sky. We're the only ones in which we can rely. When it all comes down, what you gonna do when your time runs out? There's no coming back again, like it or not. We are the only ones, we are one. We are the Warriors. Hey, 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 we're the Warriors. Nobody wanna start with us. Hey, hey, because we fight and we can't give up. We can't give the Warriors. Hey, 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 we're the Warriors. Nobody wanna start with us. Hey, hey, because we fight and we can't give up. We can't give up. I'm ready for war, but I ain't got no boots on. No bulletproofs and no military suit on. You fresh to death, you fresher than the newborn. And my team hot as hell, homie, you are lukewarm. I feel a new storm, I see the scarecrow. I'm running to the front line, never scared, bro. It's Southside, Shot City, was you there? No, it's the battle my entire life.
Big shot! He went down like a rebel! Punch after punch, he was battered.
Finish him. He don't finish this round.
Headshot after headshot, and that's it!
I'm ready for war. Everybody put your hands up if you want to get down in the trenches. I feel a new storm, we're here to shake down. We're gonna break down like we know the game. Not totally quest live, now you got me. The flow is one of a kind, not too sloppy. Wanna have my memory high like you got me. Put them hands up in the sky if you got me.
From Mendez 2013, what a way to celebrate Friday Night Fights.